What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Geek Cypher.
Geek Cypher. Oh, that's fantastic. Look at me.
I did. It's funny. I made that mistake maybe once since we changed the name.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, damn. I was so annoyed with myself. Jaws and Dave were making fun of me. Hold on, let me put on my spectacles because I'm all in red today.
All right, okay.
I got to put the spectacles on.
Yo.
Yeah, man. I just finished my board meeting. I just stepped down from the board. So I'm done.
Officially? Like you're done? You're like, I'm all right.
No, not anything bad. I love being on that board. Representing for the community for CGLO is one of the best things I've ever done. That station gave me my start in many ways, way more than, I love Abbott, but CGLO is where I really made my changes. C-Sky, bless them.
Yeah, C-Sky.
Yeah, but C-Sky is just a small circuit radio
station.
Is that
even still going? I'd be surprised.
I don't know. Actually, it is. I was at Abbott recently by accident, randomly. I ended up in the West Island on a Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
On a Saturday. And I walked around the campus. Nothing was locked. So I just walked around the whole school and then found myself in front of C-Sky because they changed some of the corridors and
they changed the basement.
The basement's a little different. There's like they redid a whole section. So when I was downstairs, I was like, yo, none of this looks familiar to me. But yeah, I found my way to C-Sky, which was a lot of fun. It was kind of cool to see it.
Yeah. Were you there when they shut down the anime club?
They shut down the anime club at one point?
You were okay, so no. I don't know if we could start that in the first 5 minutes, but yeah.
Let's go. I'm ready to talk about shutting down the
anime club. Because for a minute, C-Sky, we were getting in trouble with them because they were doing horrendous things. We were getting horrendous things done. I think you had graduated at this point. But they ratted on us for playing like music with slight cussing on the air. And then we didn't do anything back to them. But then a janitor came by like the Friday night because they used to have like their anime watching movies Friday nights. And they were having a wild gorgie.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I do remember.
Yeah.
I do remember that they used to do like
all the anime kids who were,
Yeah, they used to have a little party. They used to like to get a little crazy with it.
They used to say super crazy with it.
And it's funny
on a Friday night, damn.
Because the funny part is when you hear about Bandcamp, like how when what movie is it? American Pie. And the girl's talking about the Bandcamp nerds, and then you're just like, it's not just Bandcamp nerds. There's like anime nerds, and some of these people are freaks. They like to get naughty and they get a little crazy with it.
This is before the internet was like that, and hentai was like a kind of if you know situation. You know what I mean?
I was actually just talking to someone about this yesterday. How hentai is so popular.
It's stupid popular now.
Is it still popular?
It's dumb popular now.
It's
like versus
very popular.
When my cousin showed me hentai, it was like Ice Storm 97 and it was on like a VHS tape. Yeah. And I was like, oh wow, y'all are crazy for having this on this VHS tape. Meanwhile, Ninja Scroll, Venus 5, all sorts of stuff. Demon Beast Invasion. Don't watch that. And then now the kids today literally has its own category, and you just got like Family Guy and Lois Griffin in there, and it's nuts. It's like,
oh wait, okay. Are you guys considering anything animated as hentai?
No.
By the way, we are talking about this way too early, so this is gonna get flagged like crazy. Maybe we talk about this a little bit later.
Push it down. We got in the news.
It's wild for us to start the show 50 minutes later than usual, and to start it off by talking about a schmorn category.
That's what happens, man. That's what happens.
I wanted to start the show with Happy Juneteenth. That's what I had written down.
Yeah.
So Happy Juneteenth. For those of you who don't know what Juneteenth is, it is a day celebrated in the States. It was for the Emancipation Proclamation in the United States. It did take some time from when that was enacted till every single enslaved person was free, because information traveled at a much slower pace. So the June 19th was the day, if I'm not mistaken, that everyone was informed.
Got the memo.
Yeah, everyone got the memo.
Yeah.
Man, I almost feel like that should be the title. Juneteenth, everyone got the memo.
Yo, we're free. It's January.
Yeah.
No, you're not. Juneteenth told you.
But so we're in Canada. Our Emancipation Day or enslavement ending day is actually in August in Canada.
Okay.
We have a different day because we did it years earlier than the United States.
How we do.
So yeah, and our day falls on when the British Empire outlawed enslaving humans.
What day
Which
is that exactly?
let me double check it because I know it's in August, Canadian
August 11th. August 11th.
It's August 11th.
No, I'm just hoping it's August 11th, but
August 1st, 1834.
so not too bad, but still okay. August 1st.
Yeah, August 1st, 1834. Yeah, sorry, I didn't know that off the top of my head, everyone. I did know it was August. I just didn't remember the exact date. It is sometimes, it's difficult to keep track of all the dates in which we were no longer enslaved. People were no longer enslaved. That is a crazy thing to have to say out loud, that we used to enslave people, but here we are in a I want to say much better world, but I won't start that debate.
Hey, it's Pride Month. I mean, that's kind of a good start.
Yeah, also happy Pride Month. I mean, we're already halfway in, almost the end of Pride Month, but shout outs. I have the pleasure of being a music designer and programmer. Yeah. And one of the things I get to do is program music for special events. And I'm the one that developed the Juneteenth playlist at work. So that was really fun to build that out. I built it out a couple years ago. I update it every year with new songs. It's hard sometimes to program the station because I want to have songs about empowerment. I also want to have songs about like Black love, and I want to have songs about Black power and freedom and strength. And there's a lot of songs that came out this year that I felt, touched on that. And there are some songs that I was like, should I add this song? And it was like, it's a hip hop song and it starts and I'm like, okay. And it goes from empowerment to like, we rich. And it's like people bragging about rich, like money. And it was kind of hard to place those. So unfortunately, not every rap song about wealth made it in, but some did. Because I do think that Black people talking about owning and their own wealth and coming up in their communities is an important thing and should be a part of the conversation. So Skinny, sorry, I see your face.
The conversation we got to have on how a certain group of people tend to get mad. Always get mad when we brag about money and cars that we have, but on the other side of that, it's like we ain't never had that. So you know what I mean? And explaining that.
And I think it's important also that, because I had a conversation with someone recently. I had 2 conversations 2 days in a row about wealth this weekend with 2 people that I truly admire. I got to talk to my brother, and I got to hang out with Proto Man. So in both conversations, Proto Man made such an interesting point, and I do genuinely like the point he was making. He said, we live in a world where everyone wants to have the latest thing and people will keep buying it over and over. And he said, when I think of people who keep buying iPhones, he's just like, if you took the money that you were going to use to buy the first iPhone, took 10% of that and just bought Apple stock the first year the iPhone came out, and then the next time that there was an update, you bought Apple stock again instead of buying an iPhone. If you just did that with the first 2 iPhones, you'd probably be a millionaire and be able to buy all the iPhones now. And
tell them to teach that in school.
Right. And when he said that to me, Proto Man says a lot of stuff. We've all seen Proto Man. We've all spoken to Proto Man. He talks a lot. And so sometimes it's hard to pick out the gems from everything he's saying because he hits you with a lot of information.
Funk flex knowledge bombs.
Yeah. It's just you're just like. But when he said that one, I was just like, well, shit, that's a good one. Like that's a valid point. And then, I got to talk to my brother the next day, and my brother and I were talking about, showing off in the community and this sense of like, when you leave the hood you grew up in, sometimes when you go back, people have an idea of who you are and what you've done because they see you on socials and they're just like, yo, I'm trying to get like you. And sometimes that is said as a compliment, and sometimes it's said as a almost kind of snarky. And that was,
I think it's sometimes coming from envy.
Oh, for sure, 100%, and that's the point that he was making.
Yeah, when I smell that, I stop talking to the person.
Right, and he I don't think. Yeah, he was. I think for him, he said one of the things that he didn't feel that anyone was envious, but he felt that there was a lot of having to continue a level of presentation that he himself felt wasn't necessary. You know what I mean? Like he was presenting a persona that he felt, I'm doing this more for you than I'm doing this for me.
I believe the
I see.
term is correctly coined as pop out and show niggas.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Yeah. But that's it. So when we had that conversation, we were both talking about how, I was trying to explain to him how, and Ness, you and I spoke about this at work, how I don't feel a sense of shame or a sense of fear when I talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And that comes from the fact that I always tell myself no one knows me. Like they don't know me until they actually speak to me.
But I
Cool.
I do understand to a certain extent, because it took me like a while to understand that like I'm an alt black person,
mm,
because growing up you think like you're supposed to be a certain way, and
right.
your black friends make you think you need to be a certain way, and your white friends make you think you need to be a certain way, and
Right.
Right?
it's like
Oh, man.
so it took a while for me to realize like, oh, I don't need to be a certain way, I just need to be myself. So I think some people in those shoes
Mm.
tend to feel the pressure, I think, of I need to present myself a certain way, I need to act a certain way, I need to.
And
You
I,
know?
I almost want to take what you're saying and run just a step further.
Oh, we could run so far with that.
So far with that, for sure.
We started high-fiving black guys because of that. You remember that
Yeah.
Facebook group, High-Fiving Black Guys?
Oh yes, I forgot about that group we
Wait,
had.
what?
We had a
High-fiving-
Facebook
Oh,
group.
Please
Okay,
explain.
go ahead. Go ahead, Ski.
Okay, it was popular black men of the West Island,
Yes.
and there was High-Fiving Black Guys.
Yeah. We started.
High-Fiving Black was according to High-Fiving White Guys, but basically it was before like the internet and IG kind of coined a mutual friends.
Mhm.
It was every black person from the West Island or Montreal, whether you knew this person, somehow we found ourselves in the group. It was like Andrew, comedian Seals, Brian, myself, most of the 20 people that did the first Geektastic Cypher episode with us.
Yeah, Gozer, all those people.
Also, there was popular Black Man West Island chapter. We're legit, like we were just in a group, and it was just we were talking about things. It was kind of like nerdy chat, but when it wasn't cool to be a black nerd, like Blurred hadn't been coined yet, nothing. And like we were the Brian, myself, I'm gonna say all of us. We were considered the like whitewashed black guys.
Well, that's they tried to tell us for years that we were Oreos, and then Oreo got turned into, I felt like, and I'm not trying to put anything bad on alt, but I feel like what we've decided to do now is classify blackness, whereas you are an alternative to blackness because you don't fit the idea that Hollywood created for blackness. Mm-hmm. And that's why I wanted to go a step further and say all of us are alt black people, because the idea of blackness was created by media to have a certain kind of like, entertainer, basketball player, gold chains, and that not everyone's like, most of us aren't like that. That's just what you're showing on TV.
Isn't articulate with their speech,
Yeah.
Like, most of how we talk, just
in
general.
What's unfortunate though? Like, I agree with you, and technically we shouldn't have another name. Whatever.
No,
like, we shouldn't be calling ourselves all. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think there's even black people who are maybe not confused, but they think they need to portray themselves a certain way.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So maybe saying alt black person can make them feel a bit more.
Yes, and this is why I didn't want to. I'm not trying to put dirt on saying alt or alt black people name. I very much, to anyone who's watching this and you consider yourself alt, I feel like anyone who considers himself alt is a child who was once called an Oreo.
Yep.
Most of the alt black kids I know would say you were called an Oreo, and I want you to let you know right now. They said that because they were if it was someone in your community who was saying that, it's most likely that they have been taught by like media, television, and the people around them that their blackness needed to be this one specific thing, and they called you that because you didn't fit that box with them, and there's nothing wrong with that. And all of us, and that's why I almost like to feel like we are all alt. Like because I have never felt the same. I've never felt like the blackness equal to what the media was telling me. The only thing I ever felt I was super black about when I was younger was I was a huge Michael Jackson fan. And that's what and then like
everyone was a huge Michael Jackson
but that's what I'm saying, like but and then I remember when I went to the block party in New York, the Spike Lee block party, and he was doing the MJ the MJ block party that one year, and there was just a sea of black people in New York. Everyone's dancing. I'm wearing my Thriller jersey, and I'm just enjoying myself. And I was just like,
oh, that sounds fun.
it was fantastic. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. And I looked out and I saw every facet of black in one space. And that's the moment where I said, oh, we're all alt. We all, there was like I said to you the other day, I saw a black guy in my neighborhood walking down the street with turquoise extensions, a silk do-rag, skinny jeans, and a tank top. And my first thought was, oh, this person is gay. And then I thought, oh, this person is alt. And then I realized that was a classification because I've been taught to think anybody who looks this way is that. And you know, if you can take that moment and recognize that why you have that thought, that's at least a step further than anyone who has the thought and just sticks with it.
Assumes,
yeah. I try my best not to assume. I try. I am not perfect. No one is perfect. And when I took those classes in university, and the professor was always just like, you have biases. You are raised with biases. The people around you have biases. You would have to raise someone in a vacuum, and that's not even possible. So understanding that you have biases is fine.
We need vaults.
Yeah. Just raise yourself in a vault.
What's it called? The show? Oh my goodness.
Vought, Homelander with the boys.
No.
Oh, because they did raise him in
the one based off the video game that we just.
Oh, Fallout. Yeah.
Fallout. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we need to be raised like Fallout.
But even in Fallout, girl came out with biases because she comes out of the vault thinking this is how the world should be. And the homeboy, the night dude, black dude.
I'm not saying we shouldn't use the vaults the way they did.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, don't.
But it's funny. I took a sex and gender class when I was at Abbott.
Me too.
Yeah, was it Abbott? Yeah, I think it was Abbott.
I took one at Dawson.
Yeah, and when we were in the class, we read a paper about trying to raise children genderless. And then ultimately, the paper explained at the time, because people have done a lot more since then. When I was at Abbott was 24 years ago. So I'm sure people have done more studies. And yes, I was at Abbott in 2001. So 23 years ago.
You're not wrong, but oh god.
Sorry, I didn't mean to remind you.
My Van Wilder was 22 years ago, dog.
I was trying not to make a face.
Because that's when we met. That's Skinny and I met at Abbott, so that's why I was kind of crazy to say that loud. But yeah, so 20-something years ago when I was at Abbott, and I was sitting in a classroom, and we were talking about gender. We talked about the fact that it's almost impossible to raise a child genderless because you would have to raise that child separate from society because society has so many gender norms. It's the same way that raising a child without the concept of race is almost impossible because of those factors. And that just, I always think about that stuff because it's not possible to raise someone in a vacuum. And at least here, if you raise your child in some other
shouldn't either way.
Have you met some kids from St. Lazare? They're pretty
St. Lazare.
They're pretty vacuumed.
I have a coworker from St. Lazare that I tease all the time, and I can't wait to play this clip.
No, bro.
I can't wait.
I went to a sports bar there the other day for like an Edmonton game, and it was like St. Lazare. Like a lot of my friends live out there now, whatever they bought houses. So
West
you
Island.
go out there. Yeah, but like again, I was telling my friends, like we grew up in such a get-along gang of like white, black, Asian, everything. We listened to everybody's music. Linkin Park and Jay-Z came out because of our generation. That would not happen. In the never, that can never happen before. So it's like we were the freaking get-along gang. Everyone listened to pop. Everyone listened to hip-hop. We were great. So I'm thinking, this stuff should be dead. Why is it that I go to in St. Lazare, I'm in a baby blue sweater and I have matching shoes because I'm black and we match colors.
We like to match.
We like to match. Not all of us, but this one does.
Me too. Every time I wear a certain jersey to work, people go, "Oh, yo, you rep." I'm like, "Nope, just matching the outfit. I'm matching the cap." There's 75 hats There's 75 hats at home.
Yeah.
There's 75 hats. Look, this is all the hats I just leave on the table next to me. Look at this. I'm not done.
No, we know. You can't be done.
I like to match. You
gotta match, right? I go outside. My buddy's having a cigarette. I'm out there, burning my ting. Why do I hear people in the background talk about Crips and Bloods? You never had that conversation before. You never had that. It's like, really, guys? Really? Y'all still on that? St. Lazare is a vacuum for sure. If you're raised out there and you keep your kids out there, you could definitely be in a vacuum on some. Oh, look at these city slickers. Oh,
yeah. I guess if anything, I the way they were trying to explain a vacuum was without any of those influences, but yeah, vacuum as in within a community that has its own ideas, and that in of itself is the main thing we're talking about, where biases. So if you're growing up in that area and your parents and grandparents and great grandparents all grew up in these spaces and were told this, that, and the other thing about all the other races. Black people do this, Asian people do that, brown people, South Asian people do this, Filipinos make good nannies, like all the BS and then stuff that is inappropriate to think, and all these like categories they like to create.
Mm-hmm.
Then they pass it down.
Yep.
And they pass it down.
I will never forget. It's something that like sticks to me to this day. Every time I would tell somebody in high school that I'm Jamaican and white. Someone's first question is, "Does your dad have dreads?"
Oh,
does your dad doesn't smoke weed? That was the question I had received all high school.
Damn.
All of high
Selassie. They pop out the Bob Marley and start chanting.
It's when they pop out the Bob Marley.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Only ever Black Jamaican anything like, oh, Bob Marley. You know, not Toots, not anybody else. Bob friggin' Marley. Cool. I love him.
And then when you explain to them, when they're like, does he speak to Jamaican? You're just like, do you mean patois? There's different dialects. Like, what are you talking about?
Just like,
yeah.
Mine is gone.
Although now they changed it officially to Jamaican, the language.
They're calling patois Jamaican now officially
in Jamaica. Yeah, it's changed to Jamaican now.
Y'all are feeling yourselves. I love that.
But you know what? If Jamaica wants to call what they're speaking the Jamaican
let me
dialect,
fact check that because I might be saying something.
But I'm not even mad at that. I'm not mad at
my dad. Hey, Dad, you know you've been speaking Jamaican this entire time. What you said? Yeah, Dad.
I know the patois, but like I remember, I think it was my dad actually that said.
But
that.
again, if it's the dialect, this dialect is being called. Go ahead. I don't mind that it's called that. But
sorry. It's called Jamaican patois.
Yeah. That's fine. I've always
only because y'all have
it used to be just like patois, you know.
Yes,
Patois in all kinds of Caribbean countries.
Yeah, don't tell them that.
Yeah.
Now it's called Jamaican patois. Yeah.
Oh man, that's great.
Well, I know they built out a translator too for Jamaican patois to English, which I thought was. There's one online. If you type in Jamaican patois translator, there's like, it's pretty funny too.
I get it.
No,
I get it for people who like. It's not easy to understand if you didn't grow up like listening.
Yeah, but when you do just catch it naturally, it's so funny.
Yeah,
like,
it is funny.
It is very. You don't understand it, and then you catch the bit, and then you go back. You're like, oh, that's what he said.
Yeah,
that's funny. Oh man!
Like there's a remix of a Collie Bud song that has Shaggy, Be Real, and someone else on it, and Shaggy goes into like pure patois in this one, and keeps saying uno, and he keeps saying unu, and I remember playing it for someone, and my friend goes, "What does uno mean?" And they're like, "Is that Uno?" And I was like, "Oh." I was like, it means we, us, uno, like, and they're just like, "What?" And I was like, "It's okay, forget it. Don't think about it. Just listen to the song. Listen to the song. Listen to the context of what he's saying. And if you get it, you get it. If you don't, hey, at least it's like when some people listen to K-pop. I don't know what they're saying, but I like the beat. Go ahead.
To be fair, though, it's like it's broken English.
It's broken English. Yeah.
I get why people have a hard time.
But it's beautifully done. If you think it's a math to that.
Again,
they chose certain words to break, certain words to not break. It's magical. What they actually, oh my gosh, it's so good.
And it's like Creole, because Creole is broken French. Yeah. So whenever I hear and I wonder if they have the same conversation in the French in the Haitian community where they say things like, "Oh, we speak Haitian Creole versus you're speaking Creole." I imagine they do, actually.
Probably.
It's to the people that don't understand or like how your friend was like, "Oh, what?" To Uno, it's like Gaelic exists. Like, you just let that slide, all right? So like, just chill, okay? Gaelic is a language that exists, and that stuff is more mishmash than all that. Don't.
Yo, man, when I hear Welsh and I'm like, That's not even.
It's just mouth sounds, man.
The thing that I find interesting about Welsh is like Welsh is a completely different language. Gaelic is a completely different language. And the idea that once upon a time, those languages and French, because French was around before English, so Gaelic, Welsh, and like French in that region led to this. And I'm like, how? What, like, because it's the evolution of like the languages blending that led to like certain words.
So
and I'm like,
medieval times the elves were speaking Gaelic and stuff. And,
like
you know.
But I'm always just like, how did we get this that we're speaking right now from?
It was probably just a mix of people.
That,
you know,
not understanding each other for years. And some dude is like, I gotta break this shit down. All right,
no, but it's interesting to think about because we can still communicate with people who don't speak our language. Like it's a lot of broken I guess words, but we're able to like form. It's kind of like Pig Latin, for instance. Like it's like
chopped
broken,
up
chopped up language. And I recently learned that French people have verlan, which is like
Oh, did you only recently learn that?
I only recently learned that. And I was
but
like,
that's what they're speaking in your favorite movie.
Yeah, but I didn't know at the time. Like,
you didn't know what it was called.
Movie,
Okay,
I watched
sorry.
It in.
What's
I watched it in.
Sorry, I'll let you finish.
Basically, like they say words in backwards.
Like the word meuf is femme backwards. Une femme, une meuf.
Bruh, okay.
Yeah. So
there's a bunch of words.
So it's kind of like it's like their version of Pig Latin, basically.
But
anyways, I didn't know this.
It blew up though, because verlan became so popular in the youth culture, and from what I understand, if you don't know, maybe we'd have to look it up. My understanding is La N actually helped spread it more because the movie did so well.
Maybe. But I know that it's an old like people talking like this for a long time. But I didn't know, like when I seen the movie, I watched it in a film class and I remember thinking to myself, this is so hard to understand. Like why like I know it's French from France, but why is it like so hard to understand? Because I would always have like, subtitles on. But like the more I watched it. And recently when I found out verlan, I was like, oh, so now it makes sense. But I always felt that there was like things in the movie that I had a hard time understanding without the subtitles, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's some verlan words because I found the list. So
fun.
bande, like in bande dessinée, un bande ou un groupe, like a group of people, is deux bancs.
Okay.
Bête, like stupid, is teubé.
Bruh, okay.
What? Quelqu'un qui est bizarre est zarbi. Quelqu'un qui est black et
so
qui est blanc. Yeah,
reaching, man. That's a
but dude,
it's official. I get it, but
it's legit. And they speak in a lot of like communities in France and stuff. They speak it like common. It's a common slang language, I guess.
My ex-girlfriend from France used to say this one all the time.
Now you know what she's saying.
No, but so like
bitch. No,
something that's like irritating or like annoying is lourd, like heavy.
Okay.
And she would say relou, and she always said relou. She would say that all the time, like constantly.
Because she was always annoyed.
Yeah, she was a very impatient person. I remember her and I would be like, there was one time where she had to vote in the French election, and I was already shocked at the fact that France, when they have their election, they open up election booths in other countries for you to go vote.
What?
Yes. So she, as a French citizen,
that's so weird.
Was here in Montreal, and I went with her once to Outremont in Montreal, which is a French-speaking neighborhood that has a lot of people from France in it, for those of you who don't know. And in that community, in that area, there's a school that when they have French elections, they open up a voting station for people from France to vote. They have to fill out paperwork, they get their paperwork, and then they go there to vote. And I remember we went to line up and she's in the line to vote, and she's mad that there's a line, and she kept saying relou, like she kept being annoyed that she had to wait in line. And I'm like, girl, you are getting to vote in a safe and secure place for the elections back home. Most countries don't do this. Why are you complaining? You're still getting to vote.
Rush.
Because she has a international toll booth in which she can vote. That's why she's complaining. When you're literally
crazy.
given that kind of opportunity, you're going to complain about something.
True, huh?
That's crazy.
Like,
A nation of care and energy right there.
I mean, anyways, I'm not even going to say that.
Damn. Right. And also the name of Verlan itself comes from l'envers, which means backwards.
Oh, okay.
For those,
yeah. Hey,
there you go. Yeah, I probably should use that word first to explain it because it makes the most sense when you use it. Sorry.
Real quick, man. Because I'm going to be. I just wanted to get into speaking of backwards. I wasn't here last week to speak about my Snoop happenings at a concert that I did not plan to go to.
Oh, yeah. You saw Snoop.
I saw Snoop in the Dog Pound, and it was free 99. And
that's dope.
That's my boy Carl, who called me on the Sunday, and he was like, "Hey man, if I buy these Snoop Dogg tickets, would you come?" I'm like, he's like, "Consider it a birthday gift." I'm like, "Sure, okay, yeah, I'll go see Snoop Dogg." Actually,
this was in Montreal.
This is in Montreal, the Bell Center. I was at Chapters West Island. I was shopping at the time for a birthday party. No. For a baby shower gift that was, getting with the wife. If you ever want to go out and you have kids in the future, children, people who want to know, you show your wife the text message of the opportunity that you are getting, and she has. You just be like, "Hey babe, look at this," and she'll be like, "You're going," and that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like, concert, I gotta go to this night. Sorry, you're on your own, the kids. No, you gotta show them and let them be like, "Well, damn, if that was me."
Facts.
Yeah,
then I'd be going.
Take notes, fellas.
Take notes, fellas. So we go, we get down there. We find parking literally like on Cathedral, right by the Bell Center. Thanks.
God damn.
Right on like June 9th, like literally Grand Prix weekend. I was just like, park right there. Boom.
Cathedral's the street right by goes down. Oh snap!
Right by the Sun Life building. So you right down, and then Bell Center right there. Yeah. Found parking right on Cathedral.
This is good parking for those of you who are not from Montreal. This is really good parking.
For the weekend. It was fantastic.
This would be like parking next to Madison Square Garden, like just getting a parking spot right.
Yeah, you're right just next to Madison Square Garden. Wow. You walk in, there's security. We walk in through like the old train station. That's not even a train station anymore because of condos. You just noticed that, so you can't really get to like all the old like Gare that would take you like the main train station downtown that would take you to the other. That's not there anymore. It's like blocked off. The main building where you go to get the train Lucien Allier, that's blocked off, and it just says, "Hey, condos being built," and you're like, "What?" So I guess you can't get in through there anymore. But the Bell Center portion was still open, so I went there. Right. We went there for the security portion. He's checking my pouch. He's like, "Got to check your pouch. Put all your stuff on a thing." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." And I have my party favors. My party favors in the tube, and I'm just like, I'm not going to be using this inside. This is for outside because concert. Right. And he's like, "Oh no, it's for Snoop tonight. Y'all can smoke." I'm like, what are you talking? What? I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, no, you can't.
I'm sure he meant off record. I'm sure he was kind of like, yeah, do what you got to do.
That's what I thought, but then I was like, okay, so this is a setup. I understand that you can. You're saying you can do this, but you can't. This is a huge ass venue. There's lots of sprinklers. There's no reason that you can do this. There's children. I'm telling you, no, that you can't do this, and you're lying. He's like, nah, man, I'm serious. Like, it's for Snoop. It's special night. Like, go ahead. And then he gets his other security guards to get in on it. And I'm like, okay, so the three of you are my witnesses. If this goes bad, I'm coming for you. Check my bag. We're all good. You're great. He's
so
like,
they were telling people that they could partake in party favors. It is legal in Canada. So but
within the building.
In the building, which is not legal in
Montreal.
That's
what I'm confused about right
now.
So
it's a large building. It's a very large 4-story, immediately big building. So I'm like, no,
they must have been paying fines out the ass because
or they just paid the initial to just keep people docile because I don't know.
Unless they paid for some sort of like license
maybe
for the night.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's possible, but
also at the end of the day, they have to know that people were going to for a Snoop Dogg concert. So
for sure.
Maybe it's easier to
eliminate the amount of people that are outside.
Maybe Snoop Dogg. Actually,
I feel like Snoop might have actually paid for that and been like, okay, we're gonna do this because
his team,
we were in section 203 at the very side of the stage, so next to us was nothing.
Ness, that's where we went to see Burner Boy. We were in 203.
203 is a
nice.
great spot.
Yeah,
Because you
really
don't know
good
where it
spot.
is. I'm like 203, it must be on the other side. And you get to the other side and it stops at like 210. You're like, huh? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So you go all the way back. 203. Next to you is nothing. Great.
Yeah.
Sit down. You're we're at 203 section A. So right at the bottom, right by the bar.
Oh wow,
Where it goes
we were
over
even
to the red.
closer.
That's really
Great
close,
section.
yeah.
Great spot. Beautiful. And then I'm like, so we can. Okay, it got so hot boxed in there, my friend, that there were children. There were children outside with their older siblings sitting in like the lounge areas because their parents were inside. Like, nah, I'm enjoying this, and that's what happened.
No.
Yeah,
So everyone was just parking up in there.
yeah, it was super cooked because it was like from Warren G to Snoop to Daz and Corrupt to back to
Wow.
Snoop.
Whoa.
For sure, Snoop had something to do with that. He
Yeah.
he probably wanted.
Yeah.
He probably wanted it allowed.
Yeah,
so he was
because
like, let people. Wow.
Probably. I'm gonna
That's
test
awesome.
this when I go back there for Missy Elliott, Busta, and Sierra on August 17th.
You're going to that?
Hell yeah,
dude! I
said hell yeah, and then I even bought
know.
I've said, nah, you know what? I'm going to see Missy
I
Elliott. Let me
know.
drop this money.
I know.
Because I wasn't
know.
gonna pay $75 for some bullshit. I'm like, nah, let me get at least some red seats.
I
Let's do this.
regret so
It's
much.
It's
That's
an anniversary
Sold out?
present for the wifey and myself.
I don't know if it's sold out, but if it's not sold out, the prices for tickets for where I would want to sit now are probably going to be exorbitant.
I think we paid $109 for our tickets, and we're like in the red.
Oh, that's
yeah,
not bad.
we're in the red. $109 or one something, but it came. Both tickets came to like 3 something, and then they were like meet and greets. The meet and greets didn't make sense. Busta Rhymes meet and greet was $308, and I was like, when am I ever going to get a chance to meet Busta Rhymes? I could pay that, sure.
Right.
But then Timberland was $100.
Wait, what?
Thank you.
Why was
yeah, the exact same face I made. I'm like, huh? Sierra was the most expensive out of all of them for some reason.
She's the most relevant.
But Busta was 3.
Okay, yeah.
Timbo was 1. Wait,
I'm like,
what?
isn't this Missy's tour? How is she not the most expensive?
Missy wasn't even offered. You can't meet her.
Oh, okay. yeah. Missy's on a separate list that only
She's
like
yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
I'm
The
not
fact
trying
that
to
Missy
be
isn't even on the, it's like Sierra's the most expensive. Oh, but what about Missy? She's not even on the list. That makes sense.
No. You're not
That makes
meeting
more
Miss Billy. No. You're not coming here and doing that.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my
it was
God.
a great time I had by all. I'm not a big West Coast fan, so the fact that I can indulge
cool.
made it more enjoyable for myself.
Yeah.
And the night ended with me going to Orange Julep and paying really lots of money for some orange milk, and it was terrible.
That
Did you not know?
Whoa.
Yes, it's just dirty orange milk. Don't pretend.
What?
Don't pretend.
No,
It's disgusting orange milk. It's shameful that this is a landmark of Montreal.
We're not doing this.
Bro, I did not know it was that bad. I don't know why I expected Minute Maid
No,
orange
hold on,
high
Megan.
C type orange
Hold-
crush,
Right?
and
on
I
a
got this
second.
Okay, wait.
weird milky.
Let's let her
slush.
let's let her speak
This
her piece.
Orange
Go ahead.
julep. Everyone thinks it tastes weird the first time. That's
'Cause
a
it
fact.
does.
That's a
'Cause it-
fact. When you try it the first time, yes, it tastes weird, but it
Yes.
grows on you, and the more you have it, the more you realize how good it is. I'm telling you.
I don't know,
I
man.
hated it the first time I tried it. My brother
Oh.
took me for my birthday when I was like 16 or 17, and I
Yeah.
thought it was the weirdest shit ever. And then I had it again, and I was like, "This is amazing."
I'm just hold on. The only other time I've heard people say the first time you have this, it tastes like crap is when they're talking about alcohol. The fact that orange julep is like
Alcohol
It's not
always
beer,
tastes
my
like
G.
crap.
no, but it's like
Alcohol
when
tastes like shit.
it's just I've had people be like, the first time you have tequila, it's probably gonna taste like shit. But you have it a few more times and you have some good Jose Cuervo,
No,
and you're gonna find it smooth. And I was just like,
Alcohol always tastes bad. You just grow a tolerance to it. That's it. That's it.
I feel like you're speaking about orange julep then. I just
Yeah,
grew,
no,
you
that's
just
an
grow a
expensive-
tolerance.
That's an
Orange
expensive
julep-
tolerance to build.
Orange julep it actually grows on you, in my opinion. Unless you're somebody who doesn't like milk. That's a different
Is
thing.
it literal milk in there? We were
I think
It's
kidding.
milk. It is.
It is
milk.
like a milk. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like
It's
a
milk.
Oh,
dairy.
that's
mixed-
nasty.
It's milk mixed with orange juice and something else. It sounds
not-
weird, but it's like a milkshake.
Ness, you're not selling it. You're not.
I thought
It
Dave
is
was
no
lying when he said
different than
orange
a
milk.
milkshake.
I thought Dave was lying when he said
So
orange.
Orange milkshake. It's what's the difference? How is that different to like a chocolate milkshake or a vanilla milkshake?
I
or a
mean,
smoothie? They put yogurt and milk in smoothies. It's the same shit.
I don't like smoothies, so I'm not the right person to have this
And
discussion
you
with
probably
because
won't. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like those things. And for me, I do find that there's a difference between putting chocolate and vanilla in a milkshake than putting orange juice in a
It's a
milkshake.
mindset. It's a mindset.
I'm sure it is. And that's
why I
my
don't like it.
mindset says no.
Like bounties and mindset. You don't see me eating that. Like you mean like coconut anything. I mean, no, man. I'm not
No, but I hated it. I hated it when I first tried it, and now I absolutely love it, and I look forward to it every time I go to Orange Julep. But
Oh,
I
wow.
don't even I don't kill it. Like I wait.
I
I
grew.
do it once or twice a year because that's how I want to keep it like. a
I had
treat.
It's
it
funny,
been so. Oh no.
I grew up next to the Orange Julep, so for me, I had all the chances to go. Like I grew up just up the street from the Hippodrome and everything. Like I was there before there was the Walmart, before there was that whole strip mall. It was just
Oh
land.
wow!
Yeah,
I
it was
remember
just
when it was just land and it was just
just land and the Hippodrome, and you used to just like
And the
you
Orange
would
Julep.
and the Orange Julep. Well, the Orange Julep was further down. The McDonald's that's there now wasn't there. That was just
gas
like a
station
parking
wasn't
lot.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So
I remember that.
Yeah, so I remember seeing it like that. I'm an old man, but I remember seeing it like that. So then when you saw the area develop, I was like, oh, cool. And then they built condos, and then it was like, oh,
Bro, you
God.
remember the flea market like further down near
Yes.
with the 2 stories and it's all clear glass and there was
Isn't
like a
it
flea
called
market
like
/ mall.
Oh,
then it-
guys,
Then they
do
got
you
rid of
want
it.
the story of that horrible mall? Do you
Do
want?
it.
They, I'll
Nacho
never forget.
Opus? What it's
Well,
called?
I don't remember if that's what they called it, but I just remember. So the exit when you get off the highway going south on the 15 in Montreal, which is called the Cary Expressway. Again, if you guys are not from here, this might not make as much sense, but look up on a map if you want. Shout outs to the people who like to look at maps. That's a nod to our friend Mish. She was making fun of me because I knew where things were on a map once. She's like, "What? You just look at maps?" I was like, "I mean, when I have to." Like, so that's a shout out to her. But if you're going south on the 15, there's an exit that takes you to Edward Montpetit, and that's the exit. Right there is a glass building that was Insight and some other security firm, but that building was originally built to be a mall first. And they thought it was such a good idea to put this mall there. It was this big plot of land. They put a 2 or 3 story glass building mall. 2-story, 3-story? 2-story. 2-story glass building mall. The only problem is for you to get into the parking of the mall, you have to get off the highway and cut across the 2 lanes and then go into the parking lot. Yes.
It's the worst exit off the Cary.
The exit on the highway exits and goes straight, but there's also people on the Cary the road going
there's
straight.
Definitely there had to be
tons of wild accidents.
The lights, sure. the lights are cut like dispersed so that they're not all going at the same time. The problem is the way people drive in Montreal is
we have terrible drivers.
Yes.
Here.
You're not supposed to stop in an intersection. No one follows that rule. Everyone drives into the intersection. So if you're trying to get to that mall, what people used to do was get off the highway, indicate to turn right, and then they had maybe 4 car lengths to get over, which would cause a huge backup because people trying to get into the mall would now be trying to block the exit. It didn't work.
What a disaster.
So people didn't go to the mall. The
mall
they
shut that down with the quickness, man.
6 months, Janessa.
With the quickness.
6 months, the mall shut down.
I remember going and then I'm like, hey, mom, let's go to the mall. No, I don't know.
It's gone. Yes.
Gone.
It was gone. 6 months, the whole thing shut down.
They just destroyed it.
Yeah, because no one could go. You couldn't go there. You couldn't go to the stores. There was no parking to park in the neighborhood because you're literally in an area that's off of a highway all
it's too busy that area.
Yeah, and it's all residential streets behind, so there's no parking. So you had the only thing you could do was walk to this mall, which fine. But the people in the neighborhood aren't walking to the mall. They don't want to go to that mall. Like, why?
Why didn't they make? I don't understand why they didn't make an underground parking.
They did, but to get to that parking, that entrance was that really messy bull. Yeah,
messed up.
So it got shut down. Then it got turned into a flea market.
Yeah,
and then the flea market equally couldn't do business because no one could go to the damn flea market because only the people in the neighborhood were supposed to shop there. No one wanted to shop there. You're not able to buy big if you wanted to buy something and you bought enough stuff, you now had to figure out how to walk home with it.
That's what those little carts are for, those little What do you call those little granny baskets?
Yeah, the trolleys that people
Yeah, the
carry.
trolleys that you
But can you
roll.
imagine you have this mall and you have hundreds of people rolling around trolleys? Like
I mean,
it was such a it's such a
gotta do what you gotta
cluster.
do.
I know. And then so we have
Yeah.
Proto Man here who wrote, and that's the new mall they're building near De La Savanne is also going to be a mess for traffic in the 40 in the future. Right. So they're building a mall now all the way north by Montreal on the Décarie. That's going to be in the TMR portion right by
Oh,
Décarie at the
really?
back there. It's, if I'm not mistaken, it's called the Royal Mount.
Oh,
The
Royal
city,
Mount. Yes,
the
yes.
city of Montreal tried to stop it, but because Mont Royal doesn't fall into the city of Montreal, they couldn't stop it. And from what I understand, the
Oh,
city
they
of Montreal,
don't?
no, Mont Royal is TMR is its own city, so they don't have to.
Oh shit, I didn't know
They don't
that.
have to follow. So they tried to pressure them into not doing it, and they were just like, "Nah, we're good," and they still they're
So
building it.
they're technically not a part of Montreal?
Yeah, so no, the TMR is its own city because they did the whole one island, one city. Some of the when they did that, they had another vote afterwards, and a bunch of the parts of Montreal voted to leave because they're just like, we didn't want to be part of this in the first place.
Oh.
Yeah. So Westmount's
Okay.
not part of one island, one city.
Okay,
TMR is
geography
not.
is my weak
Well,
point.
look at it this way: if it's a rich neighborhood, they essentially opted to leave because none of the rich neighborhoods
Ah.
stayed because they were just like, why would we do this? We have better coverage with our own taxes in our own neighborhoods.
Okay,
Like
so that's why
Hampstead,
Westmount does their own thing.
yes, Westmount, Hampstead, they all have private neighborhood
Yeah.
security. And
Yeah.
then when they were one island, one city, all that money was supposed to fund in to spend on the whole city. And they were
Yeah.
just like, why would I do this? I have my own. So they all opted to leave, and it was a big issue. And
Okay.
tons of money wasted
Yeah.
in Montreal because you had to have referendums and all this BS. And
What's new?
yeah,
Love to waste money.
yeah. Speaking
I'm
of
so
wasting
pissed. What?
money, can we talk about Blade? Marvel's Blade. I'm just gonna mention this real quick.
Wait, it's out?
No, it's not out. It's not out.
Okay. Didn't it
It's
get canceled or something?
Exactly. So
Okay.
they lost their second director, and the movie hasn't started
Oh.
filming.
They lost? Wait,
They lost the
what?
second director. The movie hasn't started filming. So I have an article here from Variety.
Gonna be bad.
It came. So this is news from a couple days ago. So it came out on the 12th, but we didn't see it at the time. But I did definitely want to talk about it because I feel like at this point Marvel is burning money to try and get this movie made, and I don't see it happening. And it's unfortunate. The title is Marvel's Blade loses second director as Yann Demange exits film. And then the first line of it is another one bites the dust, which just feels rude of the writer of this article. But Yann Demange,
they're not wrong.
I know, it's so good. Yann Demange, because I'm from Montreal, so Demange is Demange for me. If I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, sorry y'all. It's a Quebecois side. But who worked on Lovecraft Country is no longer set to direct Blade. Marvel Studios' long in the works reboot of the vampire superhero franchise set to star Mahershala Ali. This is the second director to leave the project. Bassam Tariq exited the project in 2022. Insiders say Demange departed the film amicably weeks ago as development on the project has stretched over multiple years. Screenwriter Eric Pearson, who co-wrote the Fantastic Four for Marvel, is the latest scribe to take on the Blade script. One of the problems that we've been hearing about this film is that multiple rewrites have had to be done. Mahershala supposedly at one point wanted to leave because the version of the script was putting his character Blade as a third or fourth tier in his own story, and people are just like, why would you put?
Wait, what does that mean?
So he was going to be like third on the call sheet or fourth on the call sheet for his own movie. Like he wasn't going to be the main focus of the story, and no one understood why they would do that.
That's strange.
But
the script got approved.
No. So that's it. They were writing these different versions of the script, and one version of the script supposedly was that Blade was going to end up being third or fourth on the call sheet to a group of women who were going to be the leads. Which some people, I don't know how accurate that story is. And with everyone complaining about the inclusivity of the Marvel universe right now, that decision, I don't know if that was an actual thing that was going to happen or if it was a rumor that people were spreading to try and curb any idea of Marvel putting women in lead roles in the film. Hopefully Marvel's doing right by the film and just making a good movie, regardless of whose gender. And Blade should be the star. That's pretty easy. And then fill it up with whoever else you want.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
that seems simple to me. And I think that it almost feels rough for Mahershala because when he got cast, everyone got really excited. This sounds like a great opportunity, but we're looking at like years. This movie's supposed to come out November 2025. I don't even think they've started filming. They still have people writing. It's not looking good.
It sounds maybe the writers is the issue.
Yeah.
Like I'm wondering why also why is the director why is it the second director now that left? Like what's
right.
this must be there must be something going on that we
Something.
don't really know.
Something. I don't see people. I don't see directors leaving big paychecks and almost a hit. Like you would have to mess up really, really bad for Blade to do poorly because the Blade series of '98, one of the original, Marvel movies. It's the movie that people say launched the current Marvel Studios. Like that's the movie, 1998 Blade. So people are going to go back for the nostalgia. Another group of fans are going to go back because it's Marvel Studios. And lastly, you're going to get a bunch of people going because Mahershala Ali is a fantastic actor. I feel like the people who just respect acting would be open to seeing a film of a Marvel Studios film just because his name's attached to it. And now here we are delayed again. So, sorry, the director left. I still don't know if they're going to try and meet that November deadline.
I probably not. But I'm reading here,
imagine.
it says, according to an insider with knowledge, getting Blade right is much more important than getting the film out.
Right. That's what they keep saying. And don't get me wrong, I agree that I think there's other projects that they've rushed where they were just like, oh, we just need a movie out, so we need to just get it done.
Yeah, and then it flops.
Yeah, and it's, sorry, Eternals, but I feel like Eternals could have had a little more tweaking before it came out.
Yeah, for sure.
And instead we got a movie that barely. I love the Eternals as characters. I like all those random like I was telling you about the Inhumans the other day. Like I love the Inhumans, I love the Eternals, I love these.
Cool, but the movie.
Yeah, movie's horrible, horrible movie. And I remember when I started. I was watching the movie and the movie started. I turned to my friend. I'm like, "Oh, they about to make the white guy the bad guy." And he's like, "Why do you say that?" I'm just like, I have read the comic book, and the way that Rob Stark, whatever that actor's real name is, but homeboy Rob Stark, the way he was acting from jump, I was just like, nah, you the villain, you the bad guy. Something doesn't feel right. And then when he revealed himself, I was just like, I could have told y'all an hour ago this man was about to be the bad guy.
Yeah,
he was telegraphing his performance to tell you, hey, I'm about to be the villain of the story, and it was very sad. But yeah. So yeah, Wesley Snipes had some comments. He had actually not some comments. He had one comment, I should say, and his comment was Wesley chose violence. Blade, lordy, folks still looking for the secret sauce. Riding snowmobiles in traffic, kind of rough. Daywalkers make it look easy, don't they? And then he put a gif of his own face from the Blade movie smiling.
Oh my god.
Wesley's so rude.
Wesley's so rude. We're just
so
trying to get a second film and he's
I know.
At them.
Honestly, if instead of doing now at this point, you can't back down, you have to use Mahershala. But I'm not gonna lie, I think I would have been okay if Marvel said, you know what, let's put Wesley in the suit one more time and let's do another Blade film in the same Blade universe, because we've introduced variants, we've introduced multi-timelines. There's no reason you can't say Blade is connected. He's just a variant.
Too old.
I don't need Blade to run around doing action. I just want Blade. Maybe he's training the next generation. Do something fun, but
yeah, that's true. He could have been like a mentor or something.
I'm ready for it, because what we're getting now is we're not even getting anything now.
Yeah.
We're all just sitting here waiting.
But at least like Mahershala is he's a really good actor. So
fantastic actor. I honestly think.
I think he's gonna perform well. It just comes down to obviously the script and the directing.
Facts. Agreed.
So hopefully
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I wanted to ask you because I saw it. Did you see it Inside Out too?
No, not
Look,
yet.
you didn't get to see it. I thought you were supposed to go see it. Okay,
No, I did. It wasn't. No, it wasn't concrete. I said maybe I'll go tonight when I
right.
spoke to you, but I didn't end up going.
So what have you seen
So
recently
we'll
then?
see. What did I see recently in theater? I watched recently
Because I
Furiosa.
okay,
I don't think you've
okay.
seen it.
No, I haven't seen it, but I'm ready. I'm open to hearing some Furiosa love or hate because
Did we talk about it actually? I don't remember.
I think you might have mentioned it.
I think
I
we
don't know if we
talked
did.
about it.
Oh, we did. Okay. Well,
Maybe,
I can
maybe
give you
not.
guys another update on my favorite bad TV show that I can't wait till it ends. Dark Matter.
Oh,
We are.
bad?
Oh yeah, I told you guys I don't like Dark Matter. I
Oh
hate
yes.
watching this show.
Oh yes, I remember you talking about
This
it actually
this
now.
show is the doo doo. It is la tradash. It is all those things. It is the opposite of good. We are
Why are you torturing yourself?
well, at some point, if I'm going to ask for TV shows about parallel universes and stuff like that, which I love shows like this. That's the thing. I love shows like this. Counterpart with J.K. Simmons, Parallels with the mom from Fresh Off the Boat. What's her name? Constant Wu.
Mm-hmm.
Any show that's about time travel or parallel
Yeah, you
universes,
mentioned you love that.
I love those. They are my
True.
vibe. I find them super interesting. Counterparts is one of the best ones. J.K. Simmons playing a hardcore type of spy in a almost kind of Soviet style world
Mm.
ish, but then also playing this timid, meek little mouse of a man and giving two great performances. Applaud. JK, you are constantly a fantastic actor. You bring a level of strength to the characters and a level of weakness that I didn't even know you were capable of because I've never seen
Mm-hmm.
J.K. Simmons play a meek, weaker character that way. And watching him play the weak character, playing the strong character, even better because it's the layers on that is fantastic.
Yeah,
The
for sure.
Constance Wu show, I think it was a miniseries or was it a movie? Parallels, fantastic. That's another one.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of these movies and shows about parallel universes that people have been making for years that I feel fly under the radar because most people don't pay attention to these types of things unless
Yeah.
they're fans of sci-fi. And I just love them. I look them up all the time. So
Yeah.
and Dark Matter is nowhere near as good as any of these.
I was gonna say Dark Matter is one to not watch.
I almost want people
Noted.
to I want people to watch it to tell me, am I crazy? That's what I want to know. Am I crazy? Am I watching this and I'm hating on it for no reason?
I don't know.
Jennifer,
I trust you, especially with shows.
thank you. I appreciate that because with this one, I just don't understand what the point is. I mean, don't get me wrong. Actually,
Oh,
I'll
that's not
rephrase that.
good.
No, I'll rephrase that. Because that's not fair. If I'm being honest, there's almost technically never a point to any show. Like, do we? Yeah,
Okay.
in that sense, that like, do we need any sci-fi show to be a parallel for this bad thing that we do in life? I guess not, but especially not the vampire shows. Sorry, y'all,
But if
you
you say
vampire
that, then
loving.
there's no point for anything.
Hey, Brian's a forever optimist, but also a nihilist. I've
Also
said,
pessimist.
yeah, I'm a nihilist, a pessimist, and an optimist all in one. It doesn't make any sense. I have hope. I have hate. I want it all to be destroyed. Who knew? Yeah,
Complicated man you are.
very, very, very complicated. I actually watched a film today that I guess I could talk about. I Used to Be Funny. It's a Canadian film. Sabrina.
Oh,
Oh, what?
sorry. How was it? I wanted to watch it.
Oh, dude. Okay. I randomly watched this movie today because sources. I was on my sources flipping through, and this movie popped up, and I was just like, "What is this?" And I watched it. It is, if you're Canadian and you know the Toronto comedy scene a little bit, it's
Mhm.
super fun because there's that extra level of recognizing all these like Canadian comedians and stuff.
Mhm.
There's a reference to like the Just for Laughs in Montreal. All that kind of stuff is there, which is kind of cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the movie is about a young comedian who is the au pair for a girl whose mother is sick, and her father is a police officer who is always busy. So they kind of got an au pair to help take care of the daughter because the mom is in the hospital and the dad's always working,
Yeah.
and the aunt can't help take care of her because the aunt lives far away with her own 2 kids.
It's starring
And
Rachel Sennott, right?
yeah,
Sennott?
yeah, yeah.
She's one of my like I love
She was
her.
so-
She's one of my favorite
her and
newcoming.
Ao in Bottoms.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh
funny
my
you
god,
say
she's so
newcoming
good.
because I've known her since her TV show. She used to have a TV show on CBS where she played the daughter.
Of course, you've
The,
seen it.
yeah, I watch everything. And
Yeah.
she's also
I'm
in the
not a show
movie.
person, so I didn't even know she was like I mean, I
Yeah,
assume she was doing work before, but I'm
yeah.
saying up and coming because now she's getting more
And then she
recognition
was
and
in
she's doing movies
Shiva
now.
Babies. Is that the other one?
Shiva Baby is one of my favorite
That's the name,
movies.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Shiva
fantastic.
Baby.
She's great in that movie.
Yeah.
So
Good
I
writer
went.
too.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So I found this movie randomly. The fact that it had Sabrina Jalise is what sold me because I love Sabrina Jalise. Shout outs to Sabrina Jalise and Mae Martin, who have a podcast together that they do that's available only on
Mm.
Audible. But it's 2 best friends debating different subjects every week. So 1 week's money, 1 week's monogamy, 1 week is friendship. It's really, really fun.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's really good. So Sabrina Jalise is a comedian that I've been following for years. So when I saw that she was in the movie, that's why I started watching it. And
Mm.
Rachel gives an amazing performance. Again, she's so funny in Bottoms, and she has such good range because if you've seen her in Bottoms, and then you watch her in this movie, and if you watch her in Shiva Babies, and then you watch her in this other film that she had recently, called Tahara, I think.
Tahara.
Tahara's like they're at like a Jewish funeral for a
No, that's
friend.
Shiva Baby.
No, there's another. That's it. There's another one where she's at a Jewish funeral,
Oh.
with her best friend who's a black girl.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I didn't see it yet.
Yeah,
I know what you're
I
talking about.
I think it's called Tahara. I could be
She's also
wrong.
great in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Oh, right, but horror movie,
But I
so I
know
didn't
you,
watch it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's one day I'll get over this horror fear, and I might give some of these movies a
So,
chance.
Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is pretty funny.
Yeah,
It's not
okay.
it's I would say it's like a dark comedy.
Okay. So I should check that out. I'll try and check it out then. But I gotta say, so the movie is about their relationship, the Rachel Sennett's character and
Mhm.
the Olga Petsa's character, who is the young girl that she is the au pair for. There's some unfortunateness that happens. I don't want to give too much away because I really feel
Yeah.
that you have to see it through the film, because if I give too much away, but something happens, their relationship gets tested. The Sabrina Jalise and the Caleb Heron, I think is his name,
Mhm.
the roommate. It's kind of this trifecta of everyone trying to help her deal with the things that are going on in her life, and
Okay.
and her coping, and her missing the relationship she had with the young
Mhm.
woman that she was the au pair for,
Okay.
who was a teenager by the time she was her au pair. So it's not like
Okay.
she was like a little child. She was like 13, 14. So
Okay.
she really did have, and I think the character is only like in her 20s when the movie
Oh, I see. Okay.
taking place. Yeah. So
So
she,
you would recommend?
yeah, I would recommend it. The acting's great. The sadness is palpable, but like really entertaining in the way that it's performed. The honesty is there too. Like the depiction of being a comedian is real. That sense of,
Oh, cool.
yeah, I thought that was cool because like I know a bunch of comedians, and
Mhm.
one, like there's a scene where there's a moment of like someone getting their chance to go to Just for Laughs, and the other person being jealous of that, but also wanting to
Aw.
celebrate that person. So
Yeah.
that there's kind of that, like, of course I'm happy for
Envy.
you.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's that, yeah, envy again, that underlying envy,
Yeah.
So, but they it was so great, it was so beautiful, and
Oh,
it, yeah, it's a really good film,
okay.
I think the only thing that I had one little thing, Rachel does a great job,
Mhm.
but I did want a Canadian actor and lead only because it's a
Uh,
Canadian film.
that's the thing is, so you said it was Canadian film, and I was a bit confused because I knew it was
Yeah,
starring Rachel, and I know
Yeah, and
she's
she's
not
from
Canadian.
Connecticut. Yeah, she's American.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, it's a Canadian film, but
Yeah,
maybe she's just, I guess she's
the
just.
writer, director, almost the entire cast, and it's filmed in Toronto. She was the only.
Oh.
So I remember when I started watching the film, I was like, "Oh, cool, Canadian film," and I was just like, "This is great." And then I saw Rachel, and I was like,
Mhm.
"You're not Canadian, are you?" And I
Canadian,
looked it up,
yeah.
and it says like Connecticut, and I was like, "Okay, I
Yeah.
guess."
But I guess they must have wanted her for some reason.
You go with the best actor for the job, and if she was the
Yeah.
best actor for the job, I get it. There's just
Yeah.
that little Canadian part of me that was like, I almost wish this was a Canadian,
I
because
get
there
it.
has to be good Canadian actors who could have done
For
this role
sure.
too. So,
For sure.
but it is what it is. And don't get,
I
again, Rachel does a great job.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
I was gonna tell you, I ended up watching a couple of episodes of Acolyte.
Hey,
Are you up to date with it?
I think I'm up to episode 3. I didn't get to watch the
Okay.
latest episode.
Okay, I only watched the first 2.
Oh, perfect. Okay, what do you think?
I'm enjoying it so far. The only thing
Okay,
is because I'm not a Star Wars
like
fan.
fan. Yeah.
So I feel like there's things that I need to educate myself on because I
Okay.
don't know. For instance, I don't
Mm.
really understand the history of like the Jedi and
Okay. I
like.
would like to say though, you are watching the one show where I feel like you almost technically don't need it, because this
Okay,
takes
good.
place. It takes place 100
100
years,
years before I saw that.
right?
Yeah.
Like a
But
hundred, maybe even more. But yeah,
so that's why I'm still enjoying it. I'm watching it and I
right.
think the fighting scenes are really good.
Oh yeah, good
I'm
choreography.
I'm impressed with the fighting scenes. I was like, "Oh, even like
Amandla,
the
I'm
yeah,
I'm I'm thinking she's doing some of her own stunts, but she's fantastic. Like she's so good.
she's doing great." Like I was a bitch at first I was like, "Oh, I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about her playing this
Yeah,
role
yeah.
because I've seen her in different things, but like this type of role, I was like shocked a little bit that
She's
she
the
was
actress that's in The
casted."
Hate You Give.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I think that was the
Yeah.
last thing I seen her in.
Me too. That's what I was
Um
thinking.
yeah, so I just couldn't picture her doing this type of role.
Right.
So I was a bit skeptical at the beginning, but like the second episode, I was like, okay, she's doing pretty good. Like,
And she's playing twins,
yes.
which I
But
thought was so cool.
wait,
Well, you saw the first 2 episodes, so you know that by now.
yes, I know, but
Okay. I was like, did I just spoil something for you? I was like, how did
no,
I
no, no,
spoil?
no, no.
Okay.
But wait, Acolyte.
Yeah. And to the people who are review bombing the show on Rotten Tomatoes, at least review bomb the right thing, because they're review bombing a 2017 movie called Acolytes because they're so angry they're not even paying attention and they're losers. That's all I have to say. Oh, sorry. Please continue. I'm sorry, if you aren't smart enough to at least review bomb the right thing, you're an idiot. I don't feel bad saying that one. That's not a like hard one. You are review bombing something and not even paying attention to what you're review bombing. So you're review bombing a 7-year-old movie and not a TV show that came out this year. You are an idiot. You might be an idiot, as Jeff Foxworthy would say.
Well, on that note,
Yeah.
yeah, that's funny that you're saying that because I just searched it up and I'm seeing all these like reviews.
Yeah.
Yikes!
Yeah. Yes. This is the world we live in. A bunch of dummies who don't
That's
know
crazy.
how to
Anyways,
review the right thing.
but I think she's doing pretty well, to be honest.
I think she's fantastic.
I don't have much opinion yet on the show because
Okay.
it's only the second episode, but I'm enjoying it.
Have you watched other Star Wars series, live action series?
I
Like The
tried to watch
Mandalorian,
I
Ahsoka?
tried. I
Okay.
really tried to watch The Mandalorian. I couldn't get into it for the life of me.
That's
Like
fair.
at all.
That's fair.
Um
At all.
at all. I
Not
watched
in the
like
slightest.
3 No, I watched like 3 or 4 episodes and I was so
Yeah.
bored. Like I just
Oh,
couldn't.
okay.
But I think it's because I'm not a Star Wars fan. I didn't grow up watching
Right.
it. I don't really
Yeah.
understand the history of it.
Yeah, there is a lot of
That's probably
lore. There's a
why. Yeah.
lot of lore with Star Wars, so I don't fault you for
And The
I
Mandalorian is such a slow, like
yeah. But
visually
you didn't find
pleasing.
Baby Yoda adorable? Because that
No,
was the
he's
thing that
so cute.
that was the thing that
He's
sold a lot of people early on. They're just like the
Yeah,
baby.
but that's not enough to carry a show for me. Like
I
I
I
need
agree with you.
depth. I need
Yeah.
script writing, and if I don't really, it's not that it wasn't good script writing. It's just
Mm.
for me it was boring. Like the things were just I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean, it literally is about a kind of like bounty hunter story mixed with
Yeah.
a religion and
Yeah.
then kind of like riding around protecting a baby.
When you put it that way, it sounds horrible.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't watch Star Wars and you don't know anything about it, when you start watching the show, it's a faceless dude taking care of a green baby in
Yeah.
space,
Yeah.
and
But
not
what's crazy is I did watch all of the Star Wars movies,
okay,
but like late. I only watched it like a
sure.
few years ago.
And did you watch them in release order or chronological order?
No, chronological.
Oh wow.
And I think that was a mistake because
Mm.
I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, it's hard to go backwards when you finish the third, like episode 3, and then go to a 77 Star Wars
That's
film,
the
and you're like,
thing. So
woo.
it kept making me feel like I wasn't enjoying it as much as I probably would have if I
Yeah,
watched it was released. So it
yeah.
has something to do with it.
The
Um
pacing on those like
Especially the
70s and
old
80s,
ones, yeah.
but the second one, Empire Strikes Back, is considered to be one of the best Star Wars films ever, and is considered to be one of the best sequels ever. So
Okay.
if you haven't watched, I would say give that one a second.
I enjoyed
Okay,
some
cool,
of
cool.
them, but some of them I didn't enjoy.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think
that's right.
and I think because I watched it in chronological order, it had
Yeah,
an impact on the way like
yeah,
I feel like it affected my enjoyment, if that makes
yeah.
sense.
That's fair. No, no, I get it. Yeah, because someone was telling me to watch the Godfather order for Star Wars. Let me see if I can find it again.
What's the
Star Wars.
Godfather order?
Yeah, let me check. Star Wars Godfather Father order. Yeah, here we go. Star Wars Godfather order. So you watch episode 4, 5. So you
Okay.
watch Star Wars A New Hope, Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. Then you go back and you watch episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. So you get to watch the first and the second, the first original film, the second original film. Then you go back and watch the entire story of Vader coming up, and then you finish with Return of the Jedi, which is the last one from
Oh,
the original. And the
interesting.
reason they call it the Godfather order because the Godfather does that in the movie. Like you get the first one, but then you go back to the like the head of the Brando's characters like origin story, and then you come back. So people are saying the Godfather order is cool because you get the rise of Vader after you've been introduced to him as this villain, and then when he pivots at the end, you kind of understand why he pivots because you've seen his whole story and how he was once
Yeah.
a good person, but the Force he was
Yeah.
manipulated into
But that
doing
I
bad things.
understood. That
Yeah.
was I was able to understand that.
Oh, I don't doubt that. I'm just pitching the Godfather order because I
But
know
maybe
people like
yeah,
it.
maybe that was a better way of watching it. It's just I
Yeah.
couldn't and some of the acting in the old ones too, like
Yeah.
I just
I hear
but
you.
again,
What,
like I feel like if I grew up watching it, I would have more of a more grace.
right.
I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
But because I only watched it like 3 years ago,
Yeah. That's
I'm
funny.
like it was the same reaction I had with Harry Potter. Like I watched Harry Potter for the first time like 4 years ago and I watched all of them and I
Yeah.
was like,
Oh
this is
god,
what
that's a
everyone's
lot of
going
movies.
crazy about. Like
Man,
I was like,
that's a
but it's
lot
a
of
kid,
movies too.
it's all right. Like
Yeah. Because
but
there's 7 films for Harry Potter?
yeah, or 8, I can't remember, 7 or 8
Good
maybe.
lord, that is a long run to watch.
I
7
enjoyed Harry
films.
Potter though more than I enjoyed Star Wars.
Oh, okay. Have you ever watched Lord of the Rings?
No.
Okay. I won't tell
I'm
my partner because my partner loves Lord of the Rings.
yeah,
Yeah.
I get shit all the time for that because I'm a
We
huge
own the
movie fan, but I'm so behind on my classics. It's like I
we
need to
we
really catch up.
we own the extended edition because I got her the extended
Oh,
edition
nice.
this year recently, and every once in a while she'll randomly be like, "Hey, let's watch the Lord of the Rings films."
Oh
And
wait,
what?
sorry. I watched the first one on
The
my
first
plane
Lord of the...
ride. Sorry, I watched the first one on my plane ride back from Japan.
Oh, cool. Okay. That little screen does not do that film justice. So I could
I
understand.
know.
Yeah,
I think that's why my head said no, because I told myself when I get back I need to watch it properly. But
yeah.
I still really enjoyed it and I thought it was a great movie. But
Okay,
I just
cool,
remember
cool.
saying I need to watch it like on a bigger screen with better
Yeah,
sound.
yeah. Because that's one of
And
those
I
movies
will
that I
eventually.
feel like the scenery, it would be like watching. And not that I agree with the fact that Avatar should be watched in 3D, but supposedly it's the
What?
only way to Avatar the with the Navi and stuff. People always say you have to watch it in 3D. You get the magic of the
No.
film. And as someone who did not watch it in 3D and still just didn't like it, and then was told
I
by everyone,
hate 3D.
yeah,
Like
I
with
never
a
wanted to.
passion. Nothing should ever be watched in 3D. I think it's the worst,
Well,
one of the
oh,
worst inventions of our lifetime.
I can't say that because the film Coraline
Yeah.
in 3D is one of the best uses of 3D I've ever seen for a film.
Oh yeah.
Coraline in 3D is fantastic. There's like scenes where the like needle is like pops out of the screen. Like it's really, really well done. I
Huh.
remember when I watched that film being like, this is the only time I've ever watched a 3D film and been like worth it. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah, I'll
Take
say
your
that.
word for it.
Coraline. If kids
Hmm.
have time, go check it out. We have some geek news and rumors. I will mention them real quick. This one's actually quite sad. Speaking of Canadian films, because we were talking about one before, Bon Cop Bad Cop director Eric Canuel has passed away at 63. So the director of Bon Cop Bad Cop passed
Oh.
away. Yeah.
Of
So
what?
he dealt with melanoma, I think they said. Let me pull up the
Mm.
yeah, and he had
Cancer.
yeah, he
It's a skin cancer.
Kenuel died on June 15th in Montreal after complications from secondary plasma cell leukemia, according to
Oh
Montreal-based
my god.
communication firm Annex. He was diagnosed with multiple melanoma 7 years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
So our
7 years
condolences to
ago.
his
So
family.
wow, yes.
Yeah,
Condolences.
and to the Quebec film industry, because he did a bunch of films here, and it's always sad when you lose local directors. It's sad when you lose anyone, but it hits hard to the community because it is a smaller community, right? The French, like the
Yeah,
filmmakers here in Quebec and stuff
for
like that.
sure.
We didn't get to review it yet. We'll review it soon, but big shout outs to Pixar. Inside Out grossed $295 million in its opening weekend. Consider it. People are saying it has broken the box office curse because none of the films have done well recently. The tracking
Wow.
for the film wasn't anywhere near as high as 300 million. And it did like gangbusters. It did really well. And as someone who's seen the movie, I can understand why. It's a very, very fun film. So we'll do another a more in-depth review soon. And
Mm-hmm.
then the last thing I had here, because I feel like a lot of our fans would appreciate this, especially like Proto Man who's been watching. Actually, I'm sure Proto Man has done a full video on this. Bumblebee official Lego set dropping July 4th. So there was the Optimus Prime Lego set that came out a couple years ago with Lego, and now they're going to be doing an official Bumblebee Lego set that looks really cool. And it's a transforming Lego set. So you build the Lego, and then you can actually still transform it as a Lego set. So,
Cool.
and then some trailers that Jaws put for us to mention to the people. Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul, one of the highest grossing stop motion animated films, the Wallace and Gromit films. So it's kind of cool to see them come back. The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, is coming soon. Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Watchmen. They're doing it again. I don't know why, but Watchmen chapters 1 and 2 animated films are coming. I
Wow.
don't
Okay.
I don't see the point. You've done it so many times already, but here we are. There's the world we live in. So that's it. That's the whole show. Anything you want to tell the people?
Nope. Happy
That's the whole thing.
Juneteenth
Yeah,
and
happy
happy
Juneteenth,
Pride
folks.
Month.
Yes. And I know Jaws always says it. Transformers Slag. People can check that out. And also Toy Armada, both hosted by Proto Man. And big shout outs to him. It was fun bumping into him the other day at the Lego store of all places, of course. Of course, that's where we would bump into each other. And then that's the show. We'll be back with another one soon, y'all. Peace, everybody.
Peace.